Tonight's game is brought to you by the first ever G6 and Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA. By Advance Auto Parts. For the best parts, people, and price, we're ready in advance. By Hyundai, with quality that lets them offer America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. And by Citgo, fueling the greatest of American sports. Welcome back to the Hartford Civic Center and the only meeting of the season between Boston College and UConn. Let's check the starting lineup. First for the visiting Eagles, senior Nate Dornekamp had a career-high 12 rebounds last time out Sunday against UMass. He'll get the start in the middle. And for UConn, Marcus Williams leads the Big East and is third in the country in assists. He had 10 of them last time out last Thursday against Quinnipiac. Of course, this is Boston College's final season in the Big East. Jim Calhoun has gone on record as saying he is not interested in playing them anymore. He's not at all happy with the circumstances surrounding BC's departure from the league. Al Skinner, in his 8th season as coach of the Eagles, he said, I can't worry about that or the ACC. Big East is too tough of a conference for us to be focusing down the road. And Jim Calhoun has coached UConn to a pair of national championships in the last 6 years. So no matter what the two coaches want to say, Donnie, there are some sidebar issues to this one tonight. They may never meet again after this evening.
That's right. That's right. And Al Skinner knows exactly how important this game is. He doesn't want to worry about ACC, who they've beaten, who they've lost to, who UConn's beaten versus who they've beaten. This is what it's all about. Big East play. And they're both taking this game very, very seriously. Donnie Gray tosses the ball up. He's working with Curtis Shaw and Tim Higgins. Boston College ball. Lewis Hinnon is the point guard. Eagles start out man-to-man. Yeah, of course, they're going to start out man-to-man, but they're going to throw some junk defense in there. You may see some full court pressure, 1-2-2, but they're starting out in a man-to-man. See how they can handle Craig Smith down low. With it is Dornekamp. Ball fake, gets by Villanueva, shoots over him, and Boone with his first rebound. It's a good matchup for Charlie Villanueva right there. He can take advantage of the bigger Dornekamp down there. Williams to Anderson for three. Rebound inside Villanueva, goes up over Dornekamp, and Gay will draw the first foul of the night. Well, just like everyone expected, the size may hurt Boston College a little bit. They talk a lot about Craig Smith, and Mr. Dornekamp, but after that, I mean, they're not as deep, obviously, as UConn is. You see a great rebound here. Charlie Villanueva keeping it alive in the long arms of Charlie, and then the longer arms of Rudy Gay as he misses this first one, which is something, you know, when you start the Big East, Bob, you want to take care of the small things. You know, offensive rebounding is important, but making free throws, because those are the things, especially at home, that you have to focus on to help you get those tough Big East wins. And UConn shoots from the foul line for the season. Only 68%, 7th best in the Big East. That foul, by the way, was on Smith. The Eagles can ill afford to get him in foul trouble. Hinnant feeds Dudley. He's quickly doubled along the baseline. Left side, Marshall now down low to Smith. Immediately doubled by Villanueva. In the lane, ball loose on the floor. Bailout pass to Dudley. He sets up Marshall. He's their best three-point shooter. Rebound Villanueva. We get a whistle in the lane, and a foul will be on the Huskies. Little chippy one down there by Rashad Anderson. It looks like a good shot by Sean Marshall. He's a tough guy. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's a California guy, and like you said, he's their best three-point shooter from out there. Now, I didn't see it there in the replay, but obviously that's why there's 3 refs out there to cover all the bases. And one of those 3, Curtis Shaw, made the unpopular call. He's unpopular here among the 16,294 at the Civic Center. Smith wants to go at Boone, and immediately the double team from Villanueva. Dornekamp with the rare outside shot. Obviously, Bob, you see the respect that Coach Calhoun is giving to Craig Smith, and those are the shots that Dornekamp is going to have to knock down when Craig Smith is doubled. Quick trigger by Gay, and Smith with his first rebound of the night. He's 5th in the Big East, getting 8.5 per game. Hinnant to Dornekamp, and down low Boone will be called for his first foul of the night, trying to prevent the entry pass to Smith. It's evened all up, 1-1. You're keeping track at home. 1 foul for Craig Smith, 1 foul for Josh Boone. Neither of them with any points at this point in the game. Of course, UConn had a very successful approach to defending Elton Brand in the 1999 NCAA Finals. Every time he touched the ball, they doubled him. In basketball parlance, big to big.
That's the plan tonight with Smith.
That is the plan, and you got to give it to the coaching staff at UConn, George Blaney and Tom Moore. Those guys are really students of the game. As you see Marcus Williams going in and getting the shot blocked. Not really the play that Coach Calhoun and his crew want from Marcus Williams. They want him to distribute the ball.
Williams coming off his first career double-digit scoring effort in Dornicamp. And this time Smith gets the foul. That's 2 on him. So Smith and Boone are going at it down low. 2 fouls on Smith and 1 on Boone. And we've only played 2 minutes and 1 second.
Bob, this changes the whole complexion of the game with Craig Smith now with 2 fouls. Boston College really is not that deep, and if they're going to have Craig Smith out there in foul trouble, I guarantee you UConn will go right at him.
And away from the play, we'll get another whistle. This time, somebody stepped on the end line, so the Huskies turn it over for the first time, and Al Skinner is going to stick with Smith. No signs of getting him out of the game despite the 2 personals.
That play right there is a new rule. Rashad Anderson's ran out of bounds and no one else touched the ball before he touched it. So coming inbounds, someone else has to touch the ball before he can catch that after stepping out of bounds.
Borrowing a page from the football rules. Right. Not allowed to do that in football unless somebody else touches it first. Smith hands to Dudley, defended by Gay. Marshall guarded by Anderson. Hinnant missed a couple of games early with a bad ankle. Here's a turnover as it went off Dornicamp's shoulder. Boone gives to Williams. Anderson back to Williams, who had a UConn school record 16 assists against Central Connecticut. Down low Villanueva. He's doubled by Dornicamp and Dudley, and they combine to knock it off of Villanueva's foot.
Well, the one thing that Boston College does well is that they get you standing offensively. They're a great defensive team, and when you catch that ball, they all come to the ball. They don't necessarily double, but they basically keep you in a pocket, which caused Charlie Villanueva there to turn the ball over.
BC, one of only 6 teams in the country who are undefeated. 2 of those 6 play each other tonight, Kansas and Texas A&M a little bit later. BC, one of 2 Big East teams undefeated. West Virginia undefeated, entering conference play tonight at Villanova. Smith already with 2 fouls, now being guarded by Villanueva as the Huskies switch up. Shot clock all the way down to 5. Dudley wants to go at Gay, drops it inside, and is called for the charge.
Great charge by Marcus Williams, really playing smart. Coach Calhoun is one of those coaches that if you make mistakes, as long as they're aggressive, there Marcus got over in time and took the charge. If he would have backed up, Coach Calhoun would have been livid. I can tell you from experience.
And those are the 6 teams entering tonight's play undefeated. Duke playing Princeton tonight. West Virginia playing Villanova. And as we mentioned, Kansas and Texas A&M playing each other. A&M, the only one of those 6 not ranked. Williams for 3. Long rebound comes to Sean Williams, who replaced Smith, who does get a seat on the bench with those 2 personals.
Bob, I don't know what to make of the 11-0. They had a double overtime win against Yale, an overtime win against Holy Cross, and a close one that Craig Smith pulled out for them, making a 12-foot jump shot to win by 2. So I don't know what to make of that. You know, it's interesting. 11-0 is 11-0, but.
And they're also 3rd in the collegerpi.com rankings. Scoring in a premium in the early going. Well, when you begin conference play, you break out the good stuff in the wardrobe, right? From head to toe. 2-1 is the score. This is what the Huskies have done with Jim Calhoun at the helm in their Big East opener over the years, and they've won 4 in a row. And Al Skinner's club off to only the 2nd 11-0 start in BC history. Out of the timeout off the inbound, the quick jumper by Sean Marshall.
Well, that's what Sean can do. He's explosive. He's a strong, big guard, and that's what he does best, catch and shoot.
Into the post to Boone, back outside to Gay. Gay will throw up the jumper. Rebound in traffic to Jared Dudley. Hinnant to Dornicamp. Left side Marshall, catch and shoot.
We'll see if this time now when UConn comes down, if they don't have a fast break and Rashad Anderson doesn't catch and shoot a 3.
Well, Hilton Armstrong did a good job of keeping the ball alive, and Anderson doing a better job with his 22nd 3 of the year. 7th best, 6th best in the Big East.
I can tell you Coach Calhoun right now wants to pound that ball inside with Craig Smith out of the game, but if Rashad Anderson is open, he has the fluorescent green light to shoot that thing.
Well, you won't see BC shooting many 3s. They're 320th in the country when it comes to three-point field goals. In the lane, Marshall, kick out Dornicamp. He's already hit one jumper.
That's big for Al Skinner's bunch. If Dornicamp can pull Josh Boone away from the basket, if he misses those jump shots, it gives Boston College a better chance for offensive rebounds.
Gay finds Armstrong up high. Armstrong, that's a little bit out of his normal range. Gay with the rebound finds Boone inside.
Pounding the glass. We talk a lot about Josh Boone, offensive rebounds, but it becomes contagious as you see Rudy Gay there on the crashing the offensive glass.
Antonio Kellogg will enter the game at the next whistle. Down low, Williams, Sean Williams missed everything over Armstrong. Boone, good hustle for the rebound, saves for Gay. Gay at 6'9" goes from one end to the other.
Great move by the freshman. That's what Coach Calhoun loves about this guy. He is so versatile. He can put the ball on the floor. He's long, can get to the basket. Great court vision by him to go and attack the basket.
On Monday, Gay named the Big East Rookie of the Week. Second time he's been afforded that honor this year. Dornicamp, defended by Boone. They're looking down low for Dudley. Now they find him. Backs in on Gay. Tries to go up and over him, and Armstrong with his 19th block shot of the year. 3-on-2 UConn break. Gay with the finish.
UConn at their best. Give the ball up and get it back. The old John Stockton to Malone. Give it to your point guard and let him find you. The emphatic finish by Rudy Gay.
Back-to-back highlight reel hoops for the freshman from Baltimore. UConn by a pair. Marshall pops up top. Misses the jumper. Armstrong deflects the rebound to Gay. And here comes UConn. 3-on-2 again. Boone couldn't finish off the Williams feed. Here's Hinnant the other way. He goes right down Broadway. Rebound Dudley. Ball fake goes up and he's mugged.
Well, you got to love the fight in Boston College. They're taking the crowd right out of it. They're pushing the ball. They're taking the opportunities they have there. That's what this Boston College team is known best for. They grind it out. They grind it out. And there you see coming back at UConn. Here you see Rashad Anderson giving it to the guy who deserves it, Marcus Williams, and then giving it back to a guy who's more deserving, Rudy Gay, for running the floor like a big man should.
Gay with 4 points in the early going. Getting his 5th consecutive start. It's since replacing Denham Brown in the starting lineup. The foul on Armstrong is first 3 on the team. And Dudley going to the free throw line. Dudley, one of 3 California natives in the Boston College starting lineup.
I wonder how those California guys are doing this time of year up here, especially the young guys. You know, this has been an easy Northeast winter for them.
Well, we got a long way to go, partner. It's only January 4th.
Trying to get through it quickly, Bob. I'm trying to get to golf season.
We don't know what the future holds for us when we walk out of this building tonight. A big snowstorm is expected in the Northeast. UConn missed its first 5 shots and has hit 4 of 6 since. We're all tied at 10. We've played 7 minutes. Kellogg for 3.
There you saw Boston College in the 1-2-2 full court, and that's what they want to do, just to kind of slow the pace down a little. They'll just contain. They won't necessarily trap the ball. They'll contain it and have it directed in the direction they want it to.
Steve Haley, Jermaine Watson in the game. Haley running the show at the point with Hinnant out. This is Watson, and away from the play, an offensive foul will be called. I think it might be Dudley.
An illegal screen there. Most of the time what you see Boston College run offensively is a flex offense. It's probably the oldest offense you could run, but it's effective if you move the ball and guys set screens and cut hard.
So these teams heading in opposite directions shooting-wise. BC started hot, has cooled off. The opposite for UConn. That foul was on Williams, his first and 4 on the Eagles. With Marcus Williams on the bench, Kellogg runs the show at the point. Ed Nelson is checked in for UConn. Armstrong up high. Denham Brown gives to Anderson. Backs in and shoots over Dudley.
Rashad has that move if they look for him down the post, because his shot is a little bit of Larry Bird-esque. It shoots it so high it's impossible to block. And when you turn over that right shoulder, it's even harder to block a shot that way.
Anderson with 5 points on 2 of 3 shooting. Dornicamp up high. He's already hit 2 jumpers. What's with Nate Dornicamp?
Well, that's what he can do. For 7 foot, that guy has great touch, Mr. Dornicamp, and it's going to be a tough matchup for Ed Nelson that's only 6'8".
Nelson wants to get it back at the other end, and he does.
And that's what you do. When you're on defense and you get hit in the head with a jump shot, it's like what we like to say as players, you go down to the other end and make the defense earn it. You go at them.
Dornicamp has scored in double figures only once in the first 11 games, already with 6 points in the first 8.5 minutes tonight. BC with Craig Smith on the bench with 2 fouls, trailing by a pair. Haley to Dornicamp. Low post Dudley wants to back in on the shorter Anderson, and he shoots over him. Rebound tipped up once, then twice, then 3 times by Williams.
Well, Williams does a great job. He's very long, young, active, athletic. You love to see guys like that around the basket with those putbacks.
He's a prolific shot blocker, leads the team with 23. Armstrong's a pretty good shot blocker himself. He shoots over Dornicamp, who comes away with the rebound. Here's a 3-on-2 Boston College break, and the reach-in foul will be called on the Huskies. It will be on Denham Brown, his first, and 4 on UConn. Rudy Gay is the preseason selection for Big East Rookie of the Year, and he's off to a terrific start. He's the reigning Rookie of the Week. UConn 8-0 at home this season, tied with BC in the early going on the opening night in the Big East. Another big East Day Saturday. ESPN Plus will have the inside-outside combo of Curtis Sumter and Allen Ray leading Villanova into South Bend to take on Notre Dame. And its backcourt duo of Chris Thomas and Chris Quinn. Villanova Notre Dame from the Joyce Center, Saturday at noon Eastern from ESPN Plus. And the big fella has returned for Boston College, Craig Smith.
It's a little surprising for me. Coach Skinner wouldn't keep him on the bench and get a couple more minutes out of his crew out there. They're playing well. They're neck and neck right now with UConn, but hey, that's why he's coaching, and we're talking about it.
Al Skinner, National Coach of the Year in 2001. Great cut for the goal without the ball by Smith.
And that's what he does so well. He doesn't settle for post-ups. He moves very well without the ball for a big guy.
Villanueva called for the travel. Turnover number 3 on UConn.
Here you see Smith setting up Charlie Villanueva and finishing strong. The guy's only 6'7". I mean, I say only to most people out there, like 6'7" is huge, but when you're playing against Charlie, who's 6'11", and Josh Boone, who's 6'10", 6'11", you're a little guy out there.
Smith, a preseason nominee for the John Wood National Player of the Year award, preseason first-team All-Big East selection. Haley being defended in the backcourt by Kellogg. This is Sean Williams guarded by Boone. Watson on the left to Dudley. They wanted to go inside to Smith again, deflected by Kellogg. Then Brown comes away with the steal, his team leading 13th, and he nearly had it stolen back.
See a good job of Antonio Kellogg setting up his team, getting him into the right spots, which is nice to see from a freshman, especially early in Big East play.
Kellogg drives and has it rejected by Sean Williams, his team leading 24th. 2-on-1, make it a 3-on-1. Watson finishes. Timeout, Jim Calhoun. And he is irate at Rashad Anderson.
Well, the problem is, and earlier we saw Denham Brown reaching in for a foul, and Rashad Anderson really not stepping up to the challenge. Take a charge when you're right there. You got 3-on-1, and most people think 3-on-1, okay, they have the advantage. You see Antonio Kellogg getting it blocked, and Boston College picks his spots. They're going to run with you. At the other end, with Rashad Anderson basically backpedaling, you want to stop, take a charge, as you see Antonio Kellogg there again, getting his shot blocked, but take a charge. Don't reach in. It's almost like you're bailing out. Some coaches and some players call it matador defense, where you kind of stand there with the red carpet and you pull it away. You know, take a stand, take a charge, and fuel your team defensively.
And Sean Williams, the freshman from Houston, will get a rest. His blocked shot was the trigger for that 3-on-1 fast break for BC. Eagles lead it by 4.
Bob, you see the fuse is short as you get a reach-in foul right there on Jermaine Watson. Coach's fuse is pretty short when Big East play starts. As you see Antonio Kellogg out of the game for getting the team set up and then getting the shot blocked. You see Marcus Williams back in. It's a learning process, especially when you're a freshman in the Big East.
Certainly the level of intensity picks up when you begin conference play. Denham Brown pull-up jumper. Villanueva juggles the rebound, and then Boone, without even looking, puts it up. Villanueva tips it home.
It's contagious. We got Rudy Gay, Josh Boone, and Charlie Villanueva, whose wingspans are about the length of a 7'4" guy, each one of them, and it's nice for Coach Calhoun to have that luxury of those guys on the offensive glass.
UConn leads the country in rebounding margin, but is being outboarded tonight 13-9 in the first 11 minutes. Watson, left side to Marshall. Feeds Smith down low, wants to go at Villanueva, who blocks the shot, and Smith sticks to it. And his second shot rebounded by Gay. For Villanueva, his 16th block of the season, and Villanueva gets inside. That's number 3 on Smith.
That hurts right there, to say the least. Craig Smith aggressive, like you said, Bob. Big East play, the intensity turns up, and I understand that he's trying to get his team fired up here on the road. But you got to play behind. You got to play behind Charlie Villanueva. Let your teammates help you. Let them cave in. You got fouled. You're in foul trouble. You know you're the stud on that team. Let your teammates help you. Don't get yourself into foul trouble early.
So we certainly don't expect to see Smith again for the final 8:50 of this half. His club up 2. 3 fouls on Smith and 6 on the Eagles. Gay goes right around Watson. Wanted to dump inside to Brown. Back out to Villanueva. He starts to go down, loses the handle. This isn't exactly how this possession was drawn up on the blackboard.
No, you'd like to see them share the ball a little bit more here in the half court.
Williams, shot clock inside 10. He'll take it down low, and Williams with another block. Sean Williams blocking Marcus, but Marcus sticks to it and gets the loose chain.
Well, he's lucky that thing fell right in his hands, because Coach Calhoun had him coming out after making that move.
2 identical blocks for Sean Williams. One on Kellogg and one on Marcus Williams. Sean Williams getting a very brief rest on the bench, right back in when Smith picked up his 3rd. Dornicamp picks up his dribble, having trouble, and there's your 5-second call. That's why you don't pick up your dribble that far away from the basket.
You really don't. And when you're a big fella, you shouldn't be dribbling that far from the basket anyway.
So with 7:54 to go in the half, BC has lost 9 straight times here at the Civic Center. They've only won 2 of their 11 visits here. And they're all even with UConn on opening night in the Big East, with the big fellow Craig Smith on the bench with 3 personal fouls. And Al Skinner will have to regroup. And they're not a very deep team to begin with. It's Al Skinner's coaching style to basically go with an 8-man rotation. We are at the Civic Center in Hartford, Connecticut, opening night of Big East play in 2005. Bob Picozzi along with Donnie Marshall. UConn and Boston College all tied, and the big story is Craig Smith tied for the lead in the Big East in scoring on the bench with 3 personal.
You know, and I'm a sideline coach now, because I would have loved to see him let the guys play a little bit more. They're neck and neck here with UConn. Let Craig Smith sit on the bench a little bit longer, maybe bring him in with 5 minutes to go. Picks up his 3rd foul, unfortunately. It'll be interesting to see how UConn attacks this, because when Craig Smith was out the first time, they didn't really go down into the post. They settled for jump shots.
Sean Williams walking over with official Curtis Shaw to Al Skinner. And Williams evidently has some sort of medical issue and will sit down. Maybe something to do with, looks like he removed his earring. And the trainer coming over to take a look, so that's not what the Eagles need. With Smith on the bench, his replacement have to sit down to get his earring fixed.
Haven't seen jewelry being worn on the court since Michael Jordan was a rookie for the Chicago Bulls back in '84.
Sean Marshall with Gay's hand in his face drains the 3.
Well, that's going to be their spark. Sean Marshall's going to have to keep these guys going.
Gay to Williams to Villanueva. Counted in the foul on Dornicamp.
As you see Coach Calhoun at half court basically yelling to his guys, share the ball. The last couple trips down, they got nothing. A couple block shots. Great defense by Boston College. But when you share the ball, great things happen.
First foul on Dornicamp, 7 on the Eagles. Timeout, 7:36 remaining. Sean Marshall has already hit a couple of 3s for Boston College, and UConn wants to get up and down those 94 feet as quickly as possible. Villanueva with the finish. This is the last of 5 straight games for UConn here at the Hartford Civic Center. Huskies trailing Boston College by 1. 7:36 remaining first half. Jim Calhoun's club has won 7 of the last 11 Big East regular season titles. Picked second in the preseason coaches poll behind Syracuse. Charlie Villanueva at the free throw line. And Rudy Gay will get to the line. He rebounds the missed free throw, and he draws the foul. That's 8 on the Eagles.
I'll tell you, Bob, as a coach, that you become livid when you see that should not happen. There should never be an offensive rebound on the foul line, because the first thing you do is you find a body. I can understand in the play of the game, a shot goes up, you miss a guy, but not on the foul line.
So Gay will back rim the first free throw. That foul was on Sean Marshall, his first. Dudley leaves, and Sean Williams returns, this time without the earring. Gay, a McDonald's All-American in his senior year at Archbishop Spalding High School in Baltimore, the subject of an intense recruiting battle between UConn and the University of Maryland. And Jim Calhoun won that recruiting war with Gary Williams, former coach here at Boston College, who coached against Jim Calhoun in the semifinals of the NIT back in 1988, which is the thing that really got this UConn program up and running. The first of 17 straight postseason tournament appearances. Anderson with the rebound for UConn at the 7-minute mark. Nice save by Marcus Williams. He's stripped from behind. Villanueva tries to pick it up. Held ball, arrow pointing toward UConn with 26 left in the shot clock.
I think Marcus Williams thought he got slapped there on the arm, but you got to be aware of where the defense is if you get into the teeth of the defense. Coach Calhoun and his staff have been wanting Marcus Williams to get in that paint for a nice little pull-up jump shot in the practices the last couple of weeks, and he's just not comfortable with that yet.
Off the inbound, nice feed inside. Williams to Boone, and he'll draw the foul. And the Eagles are getting in big-time foul trouble. That's 9 team fouls. That one will be the second one on Sean Marshall. Smith already on the bench with 3. And Boone will go to the line, and what an improvement, Donnie, he has made from the free throw line from his freshman year, where he shot only 40.5%.
Well, it's great because Josh, he's had a lot of people tell him it looks kind of funny. I said, well, Josh, I talked to him before the game. I said, well, when they look at the numbers in the stats, that number's not funny when you're at around 80%.
Goes 1 of 2 here. Boone for the year, 76.1% from the line, 9th best in the Big East. And with Emeka Okafor gone and Boone a much bigger part of the offense for UConn, he's finding himself at the line much more frequently. This time Boone way out to defend Dornicamp. Villanueva with the steal. This ought to be real interesting. Oh.
That, Bob, is what you call a facial. That is what you call a facial. When you look in the dictionary, that's the play you see when you look under the word facial.
And he took it right at a big-time shot blocker, Sean Williams. Charlie Villanueva with a big-time dunk. He's got 6. Dornicamp with the miss, tipped up by Haley, who is fouled by Villanueva.
Well, again, you see Boston College sticking their nose in there, not letting the crowd affect them. As you see the steal by Charlie Villanueva, and you can see both guys kind of eyeing each other, timing it, and Charlie Villanueva with the emphatic slam and the stare down.
And they showed the replay on the big video board above us, and the crowd oohed and awed a second time. And now a big hand for Villanueva as he goes to the bench. He was whistled for that foul. It's his first and 5 on the team. And BC will inbound beneath its own hoop. Now Haley and Hinnon, both point guards, in at the same time. Dornicamp gives to Haley, who comes off the Sean Williams screen, and he'll draw the foul on Marcus Williams.
Well, Haley there coming off that down screen, waiting, having patience, which is important for a guard to, one, not get your big man in trouble by coming too early and have a moving screen occur, but waiting and having patience to let him get you open. Steve Haley's a great spark off the bench. He sometimes tries to do a little too much, the staff of BC thinks, but he comes in and gives them exactly what they need, especially with their star Craig Smith sitting on the bench.
Al Skinner told me the rivalry between these two schools goes back a long time, but so do all of our rivalries with other New England schools. It's a tradition that's passed on in families from generation to generation. And he knows that from both angles, as a player at UMass and as a coach at Rhode Island and now at BC. But it's a rivalry that very likely will end tonight. Of course, they could meet in the Big East tournament. Boone called for the travel.
Well, I'm sure a lot of teams in the Northeast get tired of hearing UConn all the time. You got to understand that. Your egos come into play. But Coach Skinner knows, you know, from playing at UMass and playing some professional ball in New York, New Jersey, Philly. He knows what this area is all about and what basketball, how important basketball is to this region.
Haley tries to go at Marcus Williams, falls down, and we're going to get a timeout. They got the timeout call before they threw the ball away. So with 5:32 remaining in the half, BC ball, 16 seconds left on the shot clock, and UConn leading by 1.
Mentioned earlier, Steve Haley trying to do a little bit too much. He got a little dribble happy there and dribbled himself into some trouble. Fortunately for him, he had a timeout, and the referees noticed that and gave it to him.
Now let's take a look at our Hyundai Cool Facts, and somebody's been doing a lot of recruiting on the left coast, Donnie.
Yeah, you know, like we talked about, New England and the East Coast is a tough place to live, especially we talk about in the winter. But the way that you want to succeed as a coach in New England is you go to Los Angeles and California route, and you get those tough California kids, and they've done a great job. I mean, those three guys right there would be starters on any team in the country, and they add so much. All of them have a little bit of California chip on their shoulder, but it's great because they use it in the right way out here on the court.
And UConn with a couple of guards from California, Marcus Williams and Antonio Kellogg. Williams out of Crenshaw High School, the high school of your former teammate Kevin Ollie.
Another tough guy, and that's sometimes you grow up in those tough spots, and it's nice to be able to bring that to the basketball court.
Haley with the miss. What's the old adage? You never foul a jump shooter. Well, they did, and they'll send him to the line to shoot 3. Yeah,
it's just a big mistake by Marcus Williams. You really don't want to get caught. He was trying to help Anderson and really got a little bit over-committed there and hit him on the elbow.
So Haley, 69% free throw shooter, will shoot 3, misses the first. Marcus Williams discussing it with Tim Higgins. Haley was a teammate for 1 year at Worcester Academy with his current BC teammate Craig Smith, and Haley played on a New England prep school championship team at Worcester Academy. Of course, former UConn coach D. Rowe is the Civic Center tonight, coached at Worcester Academy.
That's right.
Can't get into a conversation that lasts longer than 30 seconds with D. Rowe without him mentioning Worcester.
That's right.
Without him mentioning it 2 or 3 times. Good to see D. Rowe here after fully recovered from some health issues last basketball season, and he is certainly the #1 ambassador of UConn athletics.
He is. D just had a CAT scan a couple weeks ago, and he came up clear, and everyone in Connecticut and the UConn family are very happy for him and his family, and he's a legend. He is a legend here in Connecticut.
Antonio Kellogg missing the 3. Nelson tries to keep the rebound alive and does. Anderson for 3. Long rebound to Boone.
They just get after it, Bob. I mean, they have a knack for not just watching their man, but watching how the ball is going to come off the rim, and Josh Boone leads them in that.
Well, UConn averages 87 a game. BC averages 76, and they're sitting on 24-24 with 4 minutes to go in the half. Welcome to the Big East. Nelson with the miss. UConn has 4 offensive rebounds on this possession, but they come away empty. At the other end, Watson drives on Kellogg. It hits the jumper, and Tim Higgins will blow the whistle because there was some debris on the court, and they took it off the court. Jim Calhoun wants to know why the whistle. And the field goal shooting story in the early going is not a pretty one for either team. And there's living proof. Eagles 41%, UConn 37, and away from the play, the foul on Haley. That will be his first. That's 10 on the team. So this will result in 2 free throws for UConn when we return. The Huskies have won 28 of their last 30 meetings with Boston College. And now it's time for the greatest of UConn sports, Citgo, fueling the greatest. And Caron Butler was one of the most versatile players ever to wear a UConn uniform, Donnie.
I got to tell you, he, to me, was probably more ready than any player to come out of school early at UConn. I mean, his body, his mind, he was a little older, but his body and mind were so far ahead of any of the guys who come. Donyell Marshall, Ray Allen, he was head and shoulders above them mentally and physically with the total package to leave school early.
The greatest of UConn sports brought to you by Citgo, fueling the greatest of American sports. Karan, of course, now Kobe Bryant's teammate with the Los Angeles Lakers as he was part of the Shaquille O'Neal trade. He went from Miami to L.A.
And Karan's an L.A. guy. He is a...
What do you mean? He's from Racine, Wisconsin. Racine, Wisconsin and L.A., what do they have in common?
He thinks he's a movie star. He's a movie star in his own mind, so that suits him just fine out there in L.A.
This foul will be on Rashad Anderson. 2 on him, 8 on UConn. Of course, Butler was a great finisher. We've seen a couple of great finishes tonight.
Yeah, Rudy Gay, I mean, he's long. Charlie Villanueva, we always talk about their length, but they finish so well. They have great touch around the basket for being so big.
Watson hits the first free throw. He's the 4th best free throw shooter in the Big East at 85.7%. And with that first free throw, that's the 6th lead change of the game. We've had 8 ties, all in the first 16 minutes and 12 seconds.
I got to tell you, Bob, how many guards would envy, former UConn guards envy Marcus Williams and Antonio Kellogg, as you see a full court pass there. Great running of the floor by the center, Josh Boone. But how many former guards who just envy these guys because they have so many weapons, so many guys to pass to. As here you see a great look up the floor and great hands by Josh. This is their center now, running the floor, catching the ball and finishing under control. As you see him here getting ready to shoot his first foul shot.
Foul, the 2nd on Sean Williams. BC in the double bonus. Boone hits the first one. Al Skinner said that with Emeka Okafor gone, there's now more room for Boone. He's big, he's strong, he's active. Nothing he's done has surprised me. We knew last year he was good.
Well, when you talk to Coach Blaney, he and that coaching staff at UConn really believe that Josh Boone is a better basketball player than Emeka Okafor was at this stage.
Right.
They're both very, very intelligent guys. Maybe not quite the work ethic Emeka had, but definitely they believe he's a better basketball player offensively and defensively.
Duke is one of those 6 undefeated teams, out to a 17-point lead over Princeton. Michigan State 12-point first half lead on the road in the Big Ten. Big East play. Look at Pittsburgh losing at home by 9 to Georgetown. Pittsburgh lost to Bucknell at home last Sunday, only the 2nd loss ever for the Panthers at the Peterson Event Center.
Bob,
Haley.
This is Big East play.
Yep.
Anything can happen.
Haley misses the wild shot, didn't hit the rim, but a bailout foul on Denham Brown.
A little bit of acting job there. I did a little bit of acting in my day on the basketball court, so I
could
like
have fooled me.
I like to see, you know, players, if they can use that to their advantage, do so.
2nd on Brown and 9 on the team. Jim Calhoun will coach his 1,000th game on February 2nd against Villanova. He's the 8th winningest active coach in the country. Needs just 12 more wins to join the exclusive 700 club. He and Jim Boeheim going neck and neck to see who will become the 7th active coach to get there. Mike Krzyzewski reached that plateau earlier in the season.
It's amazing when you think of the amount of wins and the amount of quality teams that they've had. Bobby Knight leading that list. It's just amazing to think. I started to think back, when did they start coaching in their careers to have that many wins?
3-on-1, BC break. Brown comes away with the steal. Here's a 3-on-2. What will Rudy Gay do? How about a foul line pull-up?
What a great play by Rudy Gay. He noticed he had guys on the wing. It was not the great numbers, 3 versus 2. He pulls up at the foul line. That is a wonderful, wonderful shot for him. And any young player watching this game, that is a great shot to have that 15-foot jump shot, especially off the dribble.
BC is 3rd in the Big East in turnover margin. Has thrown it away 8 times tonight. Sean Williams drop step, rejected by Villanueva. Here comes Boone, and Kellogg will run the attack. BC did a good job with its transition defense that time. Villanueva to the hole, tips it up once. Boone with the putback. He's fouled by Dornicamp.
You know, Bob, they're like magnets to the ball, UConn's big men. I mean, absolute magnets. It's Josh Boone and Charlie Villanueva probably are the best big man tandem that Jim Calhoun has ever had. When you talk about knowing how to play together, knowing what each other was going to do. I mean, they pass the ball so well to each other. They understand when one's going to miss, the other one has to go to the glass. It's just a nice thing to see.
Coming up in our ESPN Plus halftime report, Donnie and I will preview a big weekend in the Big East. We'll check the out-of-town scoreboard. This is the first night of conference play, and we'll have first half highlights and scores for this one. 7 points for Boone. Josh Boone, Donnie, in his first 42 games of his UConn career, scored 20 points 0 times. In his last 4 games, he scored 20 points 4 times.
Well, like Coach Skinner said earlier, that there's more opportunity for Josh now, and he's grown. That's what happens. Each year you grow, you get a little better, and offensively he really worked hard this summer on different his jump hook, his nice little 3-4 foot jump shot, and he's bringing it all to the table this year.
Donnie Gray says the ball went off Villanueva's leg. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. BC ball forecourt. Let's see if Donnie Gray got it right. I think so.
I think so.
Went off Charlie's foot.
The problem when you're 6'11" is you get big feet.
Definitely
the
went
big
off.
feet come with it. You see Charlie kick it out there.
UConn players on the bench have to move those big feet to give Haley room to throw the inbound. Shot clock down to 5. Watson gives to Hennon. He throws up the 3. Long rebound to Denham Brown inside the 2-minute mark. Kellogg quickly to Gay. And Gay will be called for the charge.
A little bit out of control. Great defensive play there by Hennon. Recognized that the big man was running at him. Sometimes when you give the ball up too early to a big guy or too far away from the basket, you know, it's tough for them to really make a move. You see Rudy Gay here. He may have gotten away with a little bit of travel, but Hennon did a good job of standing his ground and taking that charge.
Boston College in the last 4 years has been a Big East best 19-13 in conference road games. And of course, that's the teams that get the good seedings in the NCAA tournament in March are the teams that do well on the road.
Well, 4 out of their first 6 league games this year are on the road, so they're going to have to really buckle down and add a little bit of focus to their trips.
Sean Williams went up and over Boone. Villanueva with the rebound. For Charlie, his 4th of the night. Villanueva up top. Brown down low to Boone. Dornicamp playing with 2 fouls. Brown for 3.
What you like to see from Denham Brown, he's been pretty quiet since their trip back from London, scoring-wise, but you like to see him knock down that jump shot from the outside. It gives them one more option scoring-wise for UConn. 5-point
lead for the Huskies at the 1-minute mark, and the sellout crowd at the Civic Center on its feet. I'm not sure what that was by Watson, but it didn't connect, whether it was a shot or a pass. Brown, can he do it again? Long rebound comes to Watson with 43 seconds left in the half.
Just want to bring that ball out, run something good, try not to go in down 5.
Dornicamp misses the shot. Rebound pulled down by Villanueva. That was Dornicamp's 12th 3-point attempt of the year. No play for 1 for UConn with the shot clock off. And Boone will find himself at the line again. Well, when you run and you're a fast-breaking team, you're always looking for opportunities, no matter what that score, what that shot clock and that score is clock is at. There you see a hard foul by Dornicamp. Josh Boone running the floor down the middle like you'd love to see from a big man. Boone knocks down the first free throw. Hilton Armstrong will replace Villanueva, who gets a nice hand. 6 points, 5 rebounds. Villanueva has been on a roll in his last 3 games, averaging 18 points and 7.5 rebounds per game. Well, that's the Charlie that all the coaches and everyone who practices and sees Charlie work out, that's the Charlie that they know was waiting to come out, and it's nice to see him here, especially for the start of the Big East season. Shot clock is off, and the crowd encouraging the Huskies to play defense one more time. Kellogg openly challenging Haley. Bring it to me. Hennon defended by Gay. Inside 10. Haley knocked it loose from behind. Now they have Kellogg ahead of everyone with 3 seconds left. Kellogg, ball fake, good if it goes. Instead, UConn will settle for its biggest lead of the night at halftime. Following 8 lead changes, Craig Smith limited to very few minutes and 2 personal fouls. Josh Boone with a productive 9.7 rebound first half And UConn, who is 14-11 in Big East openers in its history, out to a 37-30 lead at the break. Hartford Civic Center, Bob Picozzi along with Donnie Marshall. Big East opener between UConn and Boston College, the 89th time they've met. And the Huskies facing a rebound deficit early in the half, but boy, they caught up off the backboard, didn't they?
Well, I was struggling to find where the difference in 7 points was, and we see it right there. Fast break points, 13-2. The rebounds for Boston College, they got to be happy. I mean, UConn went to UMass, and UMass tied them on the glass and ended up coming up with a win. Coach Skinner's got to be happy, too, that his team is only 7 down with Craig Smith in foul trouble in that entire first half just about.
And Smith back in the game. Boone with the block to begin the second half. Smith played 6 first-half minutes, and he is on the floor to start the second half with the 3 fouls. Has it down low, shoots over Boone.
You get him back in, get him back in. He's a little rusty, a little stiff, probably sitting on the bench. They did the right thing, get it downstairs to him and let him go to work early. Down
low, and Dornekamp was trying to deny the entry pass, a 3-second violation on the Huskies. The 7th turnover on UConn as we look at Smith's numbers tonight. Tied with Hakeem Warwick of Syracuse entering the game as the leading scorer in the Big East. Here's a guy who has scored in double figures 71 times in his career, and he's very early in his 3rd season. Smith guarded by Boone. That was the matchup to begin the game. Villanueva spent some time defending Smith as well. Hinnant guarded by Marcus Williams. Can Smith hit from the outside? He sure can. He's really worked on that part of his game too. He shoots that shot, that 17-foot jump shot so nicely. Great touch. We talk about his numbers. You got to also understand, people out there at home, that this is not Holy Cross. This is not Yale. This is the Big East Conference play, and those nights will happen where you struggle a little. He had 30 early this season against Duquesne. That's the season high, 2nd highest total in the Big East. Drop step Villanueva. And you see exactly what UConn is trying to do. They're trying to get Craig Smith into yet more foul trouble by going right down in the post to Charlie Villanueva as he makes a great move towards the inside. 8 points for Villanueva. Smith at the other end, ball fake, and he is scoring points in bunches. He's trying to get them all back, and his teammates are trying to help him do that because they understand how important he is to this team. Williams drives, counted in the foul. This one will be on Hinnant. We think Smith sitting on the floor. It's Smith. It's his 4th. Oh, my goodness. What a revolting development for Boston College. Bob, I think that foul is on number 1-1, which for us would be Hinnant. Lewis Hinnant. Yeah. So I think the referee, the official, he showed the scoring table 1-1, a forward 1, backward 1, so meaning 11. So I think a sigh of relief for Al Skinner there that foul wasn't on his okay, you're
Craig
right.
Smith.
It is on Hinnant. First foul of the second half. Smith already with 6 points in the first 2 minutes of the second half. Dudley with his first 3 of the night. Great ball movement there. When you're in that flex offense, you just going to want to move the ball and make the defense work a little bit. Rebound inside Gay. Goes up and over Dudley. Boone tips it up, and Dornekamp comes away with the rebound, his 4th. Here's Hinnant with BC down 3. Dudley finds Dornekamp up high. Smith now being defended down low by Villanueva. Passes out of the double team to Marshall. And Dornekamp deflects the rebound, but it comes away to Marcus Williams. Here's a 3-on-2. Williams to Anderson on the left. Rejected by Marshall. Great defense there. Great transition defense there by Boston College, and Craig Smith staying out of foul trouble there. Smith blocked by Gay, gets it right back and missed the chippy. You won't see him miss many of those. He's a 55% shooter, 7th best in the Big East. Marcus Williams pull up, rebound Dornekamp. Great rebound. This is the key to playing UConn and to some success if you want some against UConn, which is holding UConn to 1 rebound. And when they shoot the ball, when you shoot the ball offensively, you want to make sure that they don't have 2 and 3 second and 3rd shot attempts. Smith wants to go at Boone, and he stepped on the baseline. I think now's the time Coach Skinner has to really let Craig Smith know you don't have to do too much. Don't try to get it all back in the first 10 minutes or 5 minutes you're out on the floor. Let it come to you. His teammates are going to work him in the offense. He doesn't have to go out and try to force it every time. Well, Al Skinner told me that Smith has improved tremendously at identifying double teams and passing effectively out of them. Down low, Boone. Gorgeous spin move on Dornicamp. Josh Boone with 11 points, so he's in double figures for the 10th time this year in 10 games. Hinnant down low to Smith, quickly double team. Dornicamp's the man left open by that double team. Marshall comes up short. Rebound down low. Dudley on the floor. Tried to find a teammate and does as Marshall runs it down, and he's pushed by Gay in front of the BC bench.
Bad foul right there by Rudy Gay. Your man is just 23, 24 feet away. You don't want to foul out there.
UConn looking for win number 9, up by 5. UConn out to a 5-point lead, and Donnie Craig Smith has already taken 5 shots in the first 4 minutes and 6 seconds of the second half.
He's taken 5 shots, but they've all been pretty much different. There you see a nice right-handed jump hook, nice jump shot from about 15 feet. And when you're undersized, you have to learn how to use both hands. And he uses his left hand very well there. Craig Smith had 2 points in 6 minutes in the first half. He has 7 points in 5 minutes in this second half, so he understands how important he is to his teammates.
Smith, first team All Big East selection last year as a sophomore, also made the All Big East tournament team for the 2nd straight year. Dudley with the jumper in the lane. Villanueva and Boone fight for the rebound, and Boone comes away with it. That's his 9th. So he's 1 rebound away from a 5th straight double-double. Marcus Williams gives to Denham Brown, who is checked in. Villanueva went up and lost the handle. Dornicamp comes away with it. Hinnant goes right by Villanueva. Reverse layup, no good. Put back by Smith, and he's in double figures.
As you see Hinnant there miss that layup. If you don't block a shot as a shot blocker, at least you change it. As you see the foul there by Dornicamp coming over the top of Josh Boone.
That'll be his 3rd.
You know, see, shot blockers they just have a knack, and when you go up, the offense feels you. They know you're there. Even if you don't block a shot, if you can change it. Fortunately, Craig Smith was there to get the putback.
2nd foul on the Eagles, 3 on Dornicamp. Villanueva sits down. Nelson replaces him. Smith with 9 points in the first 5 minutes of the second half. He's played 11 games this year, and he's scored in double figures in all 11. He did not play in the season opener. Marcus Williams calls out the play. Entered the night with 70 assists, 3rd most in the country. Nelson put back.
Great offensive rebound by Ed Nelson. See, Boston College was in a little matchup zone there, looked like, and when you're in a matchup, you tend to get a little confused. And the most important thing is when the shot goes up, you have to find a body. Even if it's not your man, you have to find a body to block out.
Hinnant down low. This time Smith will work on Nelson. He's showing it all.
Tell you, Bob, he's got it all from everywhere. He really is a special player.
Smith with 13 points, 11 in the second half. Nelson tried to answer, couldn't, and we're going to get a foul, and from his facial reaction, this one looks like it's on Smith. And it is. Make no mistake about it. He does pick up his 4th. 3 on the team. And what will Al Skinner do?
Well, he's in a bind here because there's 14-16 left to go in this game, and it's important to understand when you're the star player in your team and you know you come out, you're pretty hot, you got 11 points here in the first 6 minutes or so, you don't want any of those you know, unsmart fouls. And Craig Smith, he's got to use his head a little bit better there, especially when he's rolling like he is in the second half.
Boone down low, misses the shot. Gay put back, no good. Then Hinnant comes away. Here's a 3-on-1 with Marcus Williams back, and Hinnant finishes. So Smith departs with 13 points, 11 of them in the second half, but 4 fouls. We'll see how long he sits, probably for a good long while, as long as BC can stay close to UConn without him. Boone falls down, loses the handle to Dudley. UConn gets back quickly on defense. Hinnant finds Dornicamp, who's playing with 3 fouls. Sean Williams down low. He replaced Smith. Marshall with Marcus Williams' hand in his face. Rebound Boone, and there's your double-double. His 5th straight double-double. Wild shot by Brown. Last touch by BC.
It's important to note too that when you don't necessarily get an offensive rebound, to pursue it, as you see Ed Nelson there pursuing the rebound, and you never know what way the call is going to go. The official called the ball for UConn there, and that's only because of the hard work of Ed Nelson actually continuing to pursue that loose ball.
Smith out of Fairfax High School in Los Angeles, prepped 1 year at Worcester Academy, and was a big presence right from his very first game in the Big East. Marcus Williams on the right. Mixed up the signals with Boone. He thought he was coming to be the trailer. Instead, Hennett with the basket, and to compound it, he's fouled by Nelson.
Really not a smart foul there. You know, the guy is, you see that the player's ahead of you. You don't want to foul him when he's got a wide open layup, and Ed Nelson really just not using his head. Here's you see Josh Boone pop out instead of slash to the basket. And then you see with a great finish, Hennett, little guys, man, nowadays they get up. When I played, I don't remember the guards getting up like that, but just not a smart play by Ed Nelson there.
Well, one of the guards you played with used to get up. Of course, Ray Allen kind of played everywhere. But
that's right.
as I recall, he used to put a little bit of distance between the floor and his feet when he jumped.
He still does, actually. I tell him he's an old man because he doesn't jump as high. He shoots a lot more jump shots nowadays than he used to.
Of course, his Seattle Sonics off to a fabulous start. One of the big stories early in the season in the NBA, along with the Phoenix Suns.
Where he's got a brand new bouncing baby boy named Ray Allen III. They call him 3. Beautiful, beautiful little boy. And I'm sure he's going to have a great jump shot also like his father.
Last touch by the Huskies. BC now with this 2-point lead. Thanks to a 9-2 run. They trailed by 7 at the half. Kellogg loses his balance. So BC now with a man advantage. Marshall penetrates, sets up Dudley. Skip pass to Hennett. This is the first BC lead since 3:21 remained in the first half. UConn ended the half on a 7-0 run. Shot clock inside 10. Down low, Dudley, great fake.
Bob, I love to see the patience Boston College is showing right now. They know they're big guys on the bench, and they're just showing great patience offensively. As you see the goal 10 there. But way to go after the ball, and offensively, Boston College understands. Craig Smith is sitting on the bench. Let's play together. Let's move the ball and make UConn work defensively. Here's a great interior pass by the 7-footer. Get those big guys in the air. Great ball fake, up and under. A little Kevin McHale-ish, maybe a little bit before Dudley's time, but nevertheless, great move.
Dudley, a member of the Big East all-rookie team last year as a freshman. So the BC lead is 2. 8 minutes gone second half. Craig Smith on the bench with 4 fouls. The shooting story from first half to second half is BC has picked it up in the first 8 minutes. Dudley gets a screen, catch and shoot. It's a 3.
Again, patience, finding guys in the right spots, taking good shots with your feet set.
This is a 14-4 BC run now that's resulted in a 5-point lead. Rashad Anderson for 3. Kicks it off the glass.
Hey, if it goes in, we'll take him. And I'm telling you, that's what the bench over there, UConn, is saying. A guy we haven't really heard from tonight, Rashad Anderson, with 8 points.
Second 3 of the night, 23rd of the year. Dudley with a great cut to the basket without the ball. So Jared Dudley has come alive here in the second half. He now has a dozen. Lead back up to 4. Anderson, another 3. Rebound goes up and over the backboard. Rudy Gay will return for UConn, Donnie, when we return from this timeout. But with Smith on the bench, the Eagles have turned their attention to Jared Dudley, the sophomore from San Diego. The Eagles have opened up a 4-point lead. Boston College has opened up a 4-point lead over UConn. Now let's take a look at our Pontiac game-changing performance. And Donnie, with Craig Smith sidelined with 4 fouls, Jared Dudley has scored 10 second-half points.
Well, you just have to find out who was willing to step up to the plate. And the sophomore, Jared Dudley, is doing just that. He's 2 for 3 from three-point range. He's got 12 points and really taking up the slack, like you said, Bob, for Craig Smith. And he's a tough kid. Jared Dudley's a tough kid. He's normally known as being a solid rebounder, but he can put the ball in the basket also.
Jermaine Watson, number 4, is checked in for BC. Dudley defended by Gay. Haley at the point, giving Hinnant a rest. Dudley with Gay all over him. Down low, Sean Williams over Villanueva, who will be whistled for the foul.
And that's just what you have to do. Shot blockers are shot blockers because they are aggressive. And when you have a shot blocker on your back, you have to go at them. You can't back down, which you saw Sean Williams do there. He had a great turn to the left, faked his man, came back to the middle, and Charlie Villanueva hit him on the elbow.
Foul on Villanueva, his second. 3 on UConn in the second half. And at the free throw line is Sean Williams. BC trailed 46-43 with 14-16 remaining when Al Skinner had to take Craig Smith out with 4 fouls. Since then, the Eagles have outscored UConn 13-5.
Well, sometimes that happens. You know, guys, they're standing around when they want their star to get going, and when he's out of the game, you see what a team is really made of. And this Boston College team is a tough team. They're hard-nosed. They're mentally tough. And the guys are going to step up.
Well, that time Haley stepped in, and he was called for the foul, his second. 4 on the Eagles in the second half. Al Skinner had his UMass number retired last February, his number 30. Now hangs from the rafters at the Mullen Center, along with Julius Erving's 32. In fact, Dr. J was in the house the night that Al Skinner had the number retired.
Well, Dr. J and Al Skinner are very good friends. They went to UMass together. They didn't play together. From what I understand is you can't, as a freshman back then, you couldn't play. But they did. Al Skinner did finish up his career with Dr. J. Played a couple games with him in Philadelphia.
Gay missing badly. Rebound Marcus Williams. And coming away with it is Sean Williams.
So Al Skinner's, you know, he's got his team right now playing well. And he understands what it's like to be a player at every level and understands what it takes to be tough and to step up when your star and your guys who are supposed to be in the game aren't in.
Sean Williams to Watson. Jumper over Anderson. Villanueva up in the air with his 6th rebound. Here's Marcus Williams with UConn down 5. He threw it right into the hands of Dudley. 11th turnover for UConn.
The key here now for Boston College is to continue to do the things that got them up 5. You know, take great shots, get each other open, make UConn play defense for longer than 15 seconds. Use all of that clock if you need to. The time is on your side right now.
Dornicamp defended by Boone. Low block to Dudley. Spins on Gay. Up and under. Rebound Sean Williams. And he uses the glass.
A lot of standing around right now by UConn. They're not as fired up. I think they think the game is going to come to them. And Craig Smith is going to be back in this game, much to Al Skinner's delight. And if his team, if Craig Smith can come back in this game and Boston College is up 7, this game it doesn't look very good for UConn.
Anderson catch and shoot for 3. Doesn't even draw iron. 17-5 BC run. 15-5 since Smith left with 4 fouls. Williams, how did that not stay in? And Villanueva was pushed in the back on the rebound by Watson. His second. 5 on the Eagles.
I'll tell you, look on UConn's faces, right? The players of UConn's faces, and they are like, what is happening here? And Coach Calhoun calls a timeout to try to let them know what is happening here.
So Jim Calhoun's Huskies 7-5 when opening their Big East season at home, facing a 7-point deficit. Now it's time for the greatest of Boston College sports. Citgo fueling the greatest. And the greatest scorer in BC history, Donnie, is Troy Bell.
Prolific scorer, could do it all. Gets up, long range. Actually, Craig Smith beat Troy Bell's freshman scoring record. But look at that, 2,632 points, first all-time, 2-time Big East Player of the Year. Drafted to the NBA, just an all-around great player.
The greatest of Boston College sports brought to you by Citgo, fueling the greatest of American sports. UConn out of the timeout, turns it over. Eagles with their biggest lead of the night, trying to add to it. Dudley to Haley. Dudley gets a heck of a screen from Sean Williams. They wanted to work the pick and roll, but Villanueva wouldn't allow it. Haley. Defended by Marcus Williams. Down low, Dudley wants to work on Gay, and Gay rejected the shot. Shot clock inside 10. Haley with a nice feed to Sean Williams. who's fouled by Gay. 3 on Gay, 4 on UConn in the second half.
I got to think UConn at some point in this game, one of the players is going to step up and say, stop reaching, let's play defense with our feet.
Jim Calhoun's club trailing by 7. UConn hasn't scored in the last 3 minutes and 43 seconds. I'll tell you one guy who had no trouble scoring. We just told you about Troy Bell, leading scorer in BC history. Well, in the house tonight, the leading scorer in UConn history. And Donnie, your teammate when you were a freshman at UConn, Chris Smith, he could really light it up. I had the pleasure and to play with Chris, to be blessed to play with Chris. He is actually my all-time favorite player at UConn. Got a lot of guys who I'm very close friends with still who played there, great players, but Chris Smith is just one of the guys who really showed us, you know, how to the toughness of the game and playing that guard spot. He was great for Kevin Ollie coming in and really just set the standard for the guard play for Coach Calhoun a little ways back. And people don't understand that Ray Allen, Danielle Marshall, and we could go on and on, Richard Hamilton, Karan Butler, you know, Chris Smith has done something those guys haven't. And it's, you know, led this, you know, he's the leader in scoring. And he stayed 4 years, but, you know, I think if Chris was playing today, he'd probably be one and done because he averaged just about 20 points a game when he was a freshman also. But just a great guy, does a lot of great stuff in the community still. Just a wonderful, wonderful guy to be around. You spend 5 minutes with him, and you just feel like you've made a new friend. Off the missed free throw, Jared Dudley had a wide open 3, and then Watson with the rebound. So the BC lead is now up to 10. The Eagles have outscored UConn 18-5 since Craig Smith sat down with his 4th foul. So they have already done the hard part. They have survived that storm. Now can they finish the deal? Anderson, long 3. Rebound comes to Marcus Williams. Ball fake, feeds Boone. Missed the layup, but tips it in.
Great pass there. You know, you see here we got UConn is in with 2 guards, a 2-guard lineup. Coach Calhoun doesn't really favor this lineup, but it's very effective. So when you see these 2 on the floor, you know that Calhoun is really trying to set the tone and tell his team, look, we got 2 point guards in, let's get it up and down the floor.
Off the miss, Villanueva rebound, and Anderson gets the transition basket. When UConn overcame a 13-point deficit here at the Civic Center against Indiana in December, it was with a lineup with the 2 point guards on the floor at the same time, Williams and Kellogg. The crowd trying to motivate the Huskies. Their Big East opener. Oh, my goodness. The backdoor cut to Sean Williams for the jam.
Great back pick by Haley there. Just miscommunication by UConn. Charlie Villanueva and Marcus Williams.
That's the best way to shut the crowd up in a hurry. Marcus Williams in traffic. Out to Anderson. Williams with, so far tonight, 4 assists. Coming off a 10-point, 10-assist effort. Boone down low. He'll draw the foul. Dornicamp and Sean Williams were both there. It will be on Williams.
Very important, especially for Big East play in any game, to really communicate. As you see, a great pass there, and Williams just getting up over that rim and really quiets the crowd down. You're on the road. Those are the plays that are very important to your team. It's an emphatic play, and you know, the crowd is in it. They're fired up. That's the best way to quiet them down with a dunk like that.
Al Skinner says that UConn attacks the backboards and gets up and down as well as any UConn team in the past. Al just 2-10 coaching against UConn. Of course, the Huskies have really controlled this series in recent years. At one point, they had won 23 in a row before losing at Connie Forum. They've won 28 of the last 30, but they still have an uphill climb. Down 6, 5:53 to go. You have to wonder, when will Skinner reinsert Smith? It should be any moment.
I know a lot of coaches, Bob, say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Coaches like Rick Pitino like to say, if it ain't broke, fix it. And so we'll see what Al Skinner believes in.
Well, they continue to execute their half-court offense very efficiently without Smith. Dudley now with 14 points. Williams Finds Gay on the right. Hoists up the three.
A big shot there. Keep these guys in it. Down 5, UConn. I heard that interview, Coach Pitino saying, if it's not broke, fix it. You got to mix things up. But in this case, I think you definitely want to put your stud in there next possession.
Well, he's up off the bench, Donnie. Boone comes down with his 13th rebound. Left side Gay. He just hit a three. Now he's called for a charge.
Great defense. Boston College, Al Skinner does a great job defensively. UConn is averaging 87 points a game. You see with 4:51 to go, they only have 60. Just a great way to move your feet by Dudley. Rudy Gay putting it on the floor, running him over. And now they bring in their star, Craig Smith, to hopefully finish this game out for them.
And let it be noted that the score was 46-43 UConn when Smith left. When he returns, BC up 65-60. So they outscored the Huskies 22-14 in his absence. And he was on the bench for nearly 10 minutes. 9 minutes and 25 seconds. Dornicamp. Up top, Hinnant. Anderson got a hand on it. Dudley. Gives to Haley. Defended by Marcus Williams. Spins on Williams. Doesn't give him any room. Misses the tough shot, and there's Smith with the putback.
Always in the right place, the big fella. He's not posting up, getting the ball. He works his way underneath the glass for offensive rebounds.
Lead back up to 7 as we approach the 4-minute mark. 14 points for Smith. He averages 20 per game. Williams goes around the Nelson screen. Drives, pull up.
That's a great shot for Marcus Williams. He's always dishing to people. You got to sometimes draw the defense. The defense doesn't step up. You knock down that nice little 5 or 6 footer.
Well, if UConn is going to mount this comeback, and they trailed by 10 at one point, it's going to have to be at the defensive end. BC will make you play defense for all 35 seconds. Hinnant. Dudley. Out to Haley. Now Smith pops loose. Wants to go at Nelson. Shoots over. Doesn't even hit the rim. 14 rebounds for Boone, who equals his season high. Third time he's done it this year. Kellogg. Boone cut for the hole. Counter to the foul. Number 4 on Dornicamp.
It's a great pass, great finish. As you see Josh Boone, he just hangs in the air. And I know he feels very confident now the way he's shooting free throws to be on that line late in the game. As well, the coaches of UConn do also.
Josh Boone with 15 points and 14 rebounds. He'll shoot a free throw when we come back. This is the 6th time UConn has opened up conference play against BC. They've won 3 of the first 5. Josh Boone completes the 3-point play and cuts what had been a 10-point lead to 2.
Well, now we have a game. Craig Smith is in. We're going to see what both teams are made of with 3 minutes to go here with UConn down 2. We'll see if Boston College sticks to the same game plan, get it to our stud when he's inside.
Dornicamp and Smith with 4 fouls on the floor. Rudy Gay with 4 fouls on the bench. Dudley will draw the foul on Denham Brown.
No, Bob, I don't know if it's by design, but since Craig Smith has been out, Boston College has kind of went to a guard post-up situation. And Craig Smith, maybe it just happens that he's away from the basket now that he's in, but definitely when he was on the bench, the guards were posting up down low and really hurting the UConn guards and doing pretty well down there, too.
3rd foul on Brown, 6th of the team. Dudley hits the first free throw. Al Skinner told me of Dudley, we don't run a single play for him. He's intelligent. We do try to make the ball go through him a lot. And boy, have they, especially with Smith sitting on the bench for 9 minutes and 25 seconds with 4 fouls. Big night for Dudley, 15 points in double figures for the 9th time this year. This is the 2nd. Gay with 4 fouls will re-enter at the next whistle for the Huskies. Marcus Williams kicked clean by Watson. Huge play by Watson.
Just a great play, great hands there. You see Coach Calhoun calling a timeout. Really just too much, just a little bit over dribbling by Williams there. It's a tough part of the game to have to try to beat your guy off the dribble. Just run your offense the way you're supposed to. Be solid, take care of the ball. The thing that I believe, especially on the road for Boston College, the keys to winning on the road are making free throws, which they've done that. They've missed 5 free throws, limit your turnovers, and rebound.
Now let's take a look at our BMW ultimate drive of the game. We just saw it.
There it is. I mean, great hands, quick hands by Watson, and that's what he brings to the table. But he's keeping the defender in front of him, sees the ball out in front, pushes it. A great play there.
Watson began his high school career at Lincoln Sudbury High School, spent a year at Thayer Academy in Jim Calhoun's hometown of Braintree, Massachusetts, then finished up at Tabor Academy. Out of the UConn timeout, Huskies ball down 5, 2:20 remaining. Anderson for 3. Got it!
The captain hitting a big shot when they needed it. All set up by great screens down low. Put UConn down 2 with 2 minutes to go.
Third 3 of the night for Anderson, who's got 13 points. Dudley, played by Gay with 4 fouls. Hinnant to Smith, defended by Boone. Back to Hinnant inside the 2-minute mark. Dudley trying to post up Gay down low. They can't get the ball to him. The pass deflected by Williams into the hands of Boone. That time they tried to force it inside to Dudley, and it resulted in BC's 11th turnover. Down low, Villanueva over Williams. Rebound pulled down by Smith, his 6th.
Good move by Charlie there. Just got a little away, leaning away from the basket, falling away a little bit, and just overshot the basket.
Hinnant defended by Williams. The key matchup, Boone, is on Smith. Watson guarded by Anderson. Now they get it to Smith on the side, and they clear the side. He'll try to take Boone. Turns, fires. Rebound loose inside, and coming away with the steal is Williams. He has Boone left. Anderson for 3. And we get a foul. I think he's shooting 3.
Bob, you talked about it earlier. For all our viewers just tuning in, you never want to foul a jump shooter, especially when he's 20 feet from the basket, and especially when it's Rashad Anderson or a shooter like Rashad Anderson. Marcus Williams finding him. He's the guy who can ignite this team this late in the game, and he gets hit on the elbow there, and he's going to the line to shoot 3.
They called the foul on Hinnant, and for Hinnant it will be his 2nd, 8th team foul on the Eagles. And Anderson, 8th best free throw shooter in the Big East at 79.1%, going to the line for the first time tonight to shoot 3, and he can give UConn the lead.
Well, you're a leader. This is where you show how much leadership you have. You're at the foul line, must need free throws.
Knocks the first one down. Anderson, preseason, 2nd team All Big East selection, had a huge NCAA tournament. Had a school record 21 3-pointers throughout the course of the 6-game tournament. They're tied. Now for the lead.
And it's tough to make 3 in a row on that foul line. It really is. You can stand there, make 2 for 2, and when you're going there to make 3 out of 3, it's mentally you got to be tough.
We mentioned that great BC road record in the last 4 years. Let's mention it again. A Big East best 19 and 13 in conference games on the road in the last 4 years. And they're playing a UConn team that has beaten the Eagles 9 straight times here at the Civic Center. And when play resumes following the timeout, Anderson will shoot the 3rd free throw and try to put UConn on top. It's time now for the Cooper Tire Defensive Player of the Game. And he's Charlie Villanueva.
Well, Charlie has really shined. His numbers, he's not shooting the ball well from 3-point range, but he's got 9 rebounds, 4 blocked shots. I mean, he not only He has 4 block shots. I'd like to see how many shots he's changed, but he really uses his length very well, and he's doing a great job this year of moving his feet defensively, guarding more perimeter players.
So let's see how BC will try to get the ball into the hands of Smith at the other end, whether Anderson makes this free throw or not. So Anderson misses, so we're all even with 54 seconds to go.
Tell you, that third free throw is tough, Bob. I mean, it's and a timeout called there to kind of ice the shooter a little bit, which it did.
Boone is on Smith. Dudley guarded by Gay. Those are the 2 key matchups. They clear the side for Smith. He spins on Boone, up and under, draws the foul.
You mentioned earlier the way you win on the road is making your free throws. Boston College is also rebounding very well, as you see Craig Smith going to the middle, faking to the baseline, stepping through, and might have got fouled a couple times in there on that one play, but you got to make foul shots on the road to win.
Smith 10th in the Big East in free throw shooting at 75%. This is his first attempt of the night. Foul on Boone was his second. So BC regaining the lead with 35 seconds to go. There is a 0.4 of a second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Two-point BC lead. Let's see if UConn will call time. Looks like they will. With 29.7 seconds left. And what do you think Jim Calhoun will diagram here in the huddle, Donnie? What are his options?
Well, you know, you have plenty of time, and Coach Calhoun being a defensive coach, he's going to tell his guys, take the best shot we can get in the paint. I don't think they're going to jack up a three-pointer because you don't need it. Rashad Anderson has hit a couple, but he's really not he's not playing like himself tonight. And you got those bodies inside. They can go after the, second shot for rebounds, and you score here, you tie the game, you go down, you always hear it. Defense wins games, and I think they're going to pound it inside. Put some pressure on that defense, that Boston College defense in the post. Sorry, Bob.
I'm sorry, Donnie. UConn has one full timeout left. BC with a full and a 30. So if the Huskies struggle on the inbound, they do have the option of calling another timeout. Now, as far as fouls are concerned, BC already over the limit, so any foul will result in UConn going to the line. The next foul on UConn would send BC to the line. So it's Boone, Gay, Williams, Villanueva, and Anderson for the Huskies. Smith, Watson, Dornicamp, Dudley, and Hinnant for BC. And Donnie Gray and Tim Higgins having a discussion. 29.7 seconds left. Now Curtis Shaw gets involved. The shot clock says 30 seconds remaining, so that can't be. Gay will throw the inbound. Smith is guarding Boone down low, or guarding Villanueva rather. Right. And it looks like Boone will be defended by Dornicamp. There's the timeout situation, and the possession arrow pointing toward UConn. And now Donnie Gray explaining things to Al Skinner.
Well, there's no 10th, as you see, on the shot clock compared to the game clock. So that's why you see 29.7 on the shot clock, on the game clock, and 30. If there was a 10th, then you would see that clock being 4/10 off, like you spoke of earlier.
So in reality, the shot clock's really off.
Exactly.
Gay to inbound to Williams. Whose number will UConn call? Dornicamp guarding Boone, who sets the screen. Pass inside, stolen by the Eagles, and UConn will be forced to foul with 21.7 seconds left.
Tough play there, and that needless to say really kills you. You know UConn wants to go inside, so Boston College does a great job of really packing it in. You see Hinnant getting a hand on it. You know they're going inside. Dudley picks it up. He gets fouled there. Probably should have used a little bit more clock, had a little bit more patience, but come down. Now you got a chance to get it back after the free throws here by Dudley.
Dudley 3 of 4 from the line tonight. That was the 7th foul on UConn, so it's a 1-and-1. It's the first one. Remember, Anderson had a chance to tie it when he was shooting 3 free throws with 56 seconds left. Made the first 2, had a chance to put them ahead rather. Made the first 2, missed the third. Then Smith hits 2 when he was fouled. And now Dudley has a chance to do the same and does. So BC hitting all 4 free throws in the last 14 seconds, and it has resulted in a 4-point lead, and this changes the strategy considerably.
And the guy we talked about earlier who stepped up while Craig Smith was on the bench was Jared Dudley, and he's continuing to do it. He's 5 for 6 from the foul line. He's got 17 points and knocking down 2 of the biggest foul shots of the season thus far.
Let's have a game recap. Craig Smith taking over early in the second half, scored 10 points early in the half, picked up his 4th foul and left with 14-16 to go. And with Smith gone, it was Jared Dudley who really picked up the slack.
He really did, and he's continuing to do it when Craig Smith is on the floor. He's getting his hands in the passing lanes. He's knocking down free throws when you need them, and he's a great spark for Al Skinner's team here. I mean, this is a huge growing period for him early in this Big East season, very early in the Big East season.
Checking our game track, another double-double for Boone. And Smith, despite the foul trouble, still has managed to score 16. Here's UConn, who needs 2 scores. Anderson for 3. No good. Rebound, Hinnant. And he is immediately fouled. And if Hinnant can knock down these 2 free throws, that'll be the final nail.
I tell you, Boston College, when you look at their record now, is going to move them to 12-0 with the best start in school history. Double overtime against Yale, an overtime against Holy Cross, but wins, and a close one against Kent State. You never know with this team. But one thing you do know about them is that they are very tough, and they showed us that tonight with Craig Smith in foul trouble.
Well, again, when Smith was on the bench with 4 fouls, he sat for 9 minutes and 25 seconds. And in his absence, the Eagles outscored UConn 22-14, turning a 3-point deficit into a 5-point lead, and the key contributor was Jared Dudley, who has 17 points and 7 rebounds tonight, and just hit 2 huge free throws with 21 seconds remaining. Now with 12 seconds left, Hinnant will try to do the same. 6'4" junior out of Oxon Hill, Maryland, knocks down the first. The Eagles now 18 of 23 from the foul line tonight. A year ago, when they lost to UConn by 5 at Connie Forum, they had only 12 free throw attempts in the whole game. Misses the second. Rebound Boone with 12 seconds left. Up the floor to Kellogg. Anderson for 3. It's blocked, and that'll do it. So in its final season in the Big East, Boston College visits the Hartford Civic Center, a place where they had lost 9 times in a row, and wins in this building for the first time in 18 years. And for the first time in Boston College history, Donnie, the Eagles have won their first 12 games.
Al Skinner has done a great job. He's added toughness to this team. He's brought some kids in from California who just exude that toughness and that confidence. They played great with their star on the bench. It's going to be a great season for Boston College, off to a wonderful, wonderful start.
Dudley, 17 points and 7 rebounds to lead the way. For Donnie Marshall, I'm Bob Picozzi. Thanks so much for joining us. This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports television.